back with the remix. These boys are my sons like Phoenix.
Alright, hey guys, what's up? So today is the first episode of the Flash podcast. Now, I have my first guest here. So I have my first guest here, if you want to say hello.
Hello, what's up?
So we're going to be asking him a few questions about the Flash, and we're going to talk about upcoming events about the Flash and all that good stuff. Alrighty. Let's see. Alrighty. First question. What is your favorite season of The Flash?
That has to be season 3.
Why is that?
Because even though they portrayed the character Savitar, in my opinion, a lot less than they should have. It's just the revealing of Savitar and the way Barry goes through his emotions as he went into the future and saw Iris die. That is my favorite. That's why it's my favorite. Is all the emotion that he had went through as more towards a boyfriend / into a husband as of the Flash. No.
Okay. Who is your favorite character from The Flash or the whole ArrowVerse?
So, it's my favorite character of the Flash has to be Barry Allen or the Flash. Not just because he's the protagonist, because I see him more fitting as of me in my life.
Oh, okay. Who was your favorite villain out of the 6 seasons?
Zoom. Definitely Zoom. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Even though I like season 3, but Zoom has to take the cake for this. Oh. Yeah.
Alright, have you watched any other ArrowVerse show, other than The Flash?
Yes, I have watched Supergirl, DC Legends of Tomorrow, of course the Arrow. I've watched does Constantine count since he's
yeah.
I've watched Constantine. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Alright, almost all the questions I have for you, so one of the other questions I have is your thoughts on Hartley Sawyer getting fired.
I think they shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have. He slowly turned into a big character over the seasons, and it was a big mistake coming from that. Harley's his character as the elongated man truly brought comedy into the TV show. And I just loved him as a character, and now since they have fired him, and they're writing his character off, I really dislike that. They shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I feel like that was years ago. I think that was before he even knew that he was going to be like a big actor. And even though it's wrong, I think back then he really didn't know what he was doing. And I think that people can change, right? And it's like he just brought the show like a feeling of emotion, of comedy, like you said, like we've had comedy in the show, but Harley Sawyer just brought it to a whole new level, and kind of sad.
Yeah. They messed up big time on this, but maybe they can redeem themselves in this next upcoming season.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. So they're supposed to be starting filming in October, and it's supposed to be coming out January of 2021. Feel like this new season without Hartley Sawyer will be a lot less comedy than it was these last couple of seasons. But I feel like if they bring some new evil speeches in to I think it would like balance the loss. What do you think?
Yes, that is very true. As they bring in as we've seen in the trailer, the Godspeed, or August Hart, and everything going on in the trailer, it looks like there's going to be more action and emotion in this one. And like you said, since they rid off Hartley Sawyer, there's not going to be much comedy. I feel like in this season, but yeah, they're as they bring in new people, maybe they might redeem themselves in that way.
Okay, so have you heard about the Flash movie coming out? It's supposed to be coming out in what, 2022?
Yes, I have heard of it, and I'm very sad to say my opinion on this is already very low, considering everything that they have taken out of it so far.
Yeah.
And I haven't even seen a trailer yet, if there even is one. But they haven't even they. I heard that there's not going to be the Reverse Flash and the
Yeah.
Amazonians versus oh, why can't I think of the names? Why can't I think of it? That's but the battle against the and Amazonians, man, they I heard that's not going to be in there neither. Which those are two tremendous parts in the Flashpoint storyline in comic and in the Flashpoint movie, which is I feel like my opinion on this is already very low in this movie. Maybe just maybe they'll this movie might turn out to be very good.
Yeah, so here's a topic that I've seen a lot of Flash fans talking about. Grant Gustin or Ezra Miller, who would you prefer?
Grant Gustin all the way. Ezra Miller, he's a good Flash, but Grant Gustin just portrays the Flash perfectly, without a doubt. Grant Gustin is better in my opinion.
Yeah, same here. I think he just like brings that Billy Allen character into the show, and I think I'm not saying Ezra Miller plays the Flash bad. I'm just saying that Grant Gustin is the superior one.
Yeah, totally.
So in season 7, we are still dealing with who is it? Eva McCulloch. And Iris is
Yep.
still trapped in the Mirrorverse. Do you think that they will be able to get her out?
Yeah, it's Barry Allen.
Yeah.
With there being a dead Speed Force and them trying to make an artificial one. Totally. They're totally gonna get her out, and that's what I think because we've seen Barry come back from nothing and still win against speedsters like the Reverse Flash and Zoom killing his father, Eobard killing his mother. We've seen him come back from that. He can totally get Iris out of this predicament.
When we first got introduced to Eva McCulloch, did you think that she was gonna be like a big bad, like at the beginning?
Oh, oh no, no, no! I thought she was like Iris and literally trapped in there. They did that perfectly, perfect. It totally grabbed my attention, and that's what I loved about it. They 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 got me with that big time. I really didn't think she was going to be evil.
Yeah. So we so I have seen a lot of people not liking Iris in the show, her being married to Barry because she brings a lot of problems and like it's just problematic. Is that like what you think, or what do you think about Iris in general?
So, in my opinion, Iris is perfect. There's no way because like you heard of the ship Snowberry and stuff like that where they
Yeah.
ship. Yeah, that would be awesome. I would love to see that somehow go down, but no, Iris is perfect. I kind of she's one of my favorite characters. Especially when it comes to Team Flash. Iris is right there. She's perfect. She plays the Iris role. Candice Patton plays the
Yeah.
role Iris perfect.
That's what I was just about to ask you if you think they could have chose a better actor than Candice Patton to play Iris.
No, no, they did good on this. this is great. Yep, they did perfect on it. I can't see anybody else being um, portrayed as Iris. So
So this new season coming up, do you think they would be changing the suit again, like the suit? Because when we last left off, it doesn't have the lightning bolts on the ears anymore. It has the actual like cows on the ears. What do you think about that?
so I kind of wish they do not because I kind of like this suit, especially since it's almost just a remake of the cowl with no chin guard, but I actually like it with a chin guard. So
Yeah.
between that one, this suit, and season three has to be my favorite. But um, I like this one a lot, and if they're gonna change the suit, they have to make it at least like 5 times better for me to actually like the suit because this suit is actually pretty awesome.
Yeah. So season five suit. I've seen a lot of people hate on the season five suit for the removed chin guard, and I kind of agree with them.
Yeah, I feel like that was a very terrible idea. Um, yeah, I disliked that the whole season. I could not see when Barry was as the Flash in that suit. All I looked at is the chin most of the time. and, and
So, Noah West Allen. A lot of people didn't like Noah for most specific reasons. Was at the beginning they thought like when she like was the caterer at the wedding and then also did the package after Jenna was born. Like people thought she was gonna be the big bad. And then when we found out that she was Billy and Iris's daughter from the future, a lot of people started hating on Noor.
so so I feel like that Nora, she was an important role of that season, and the season wouldn't have turned out the way it is if it was not for her. But if I'm being honest, they could have did better with her character, just a little bit better. She was already very great, but they could have stepped up and did a little bit better because when they first introduced Eobard Thawne in the future, I kind of knew where it was going down the road, how it was going to end up. They could have did a little better at hiding the fact on what was going to happen to her. So they could have did just a tad bit better. But other than that, no, she was fine.
Do you think they could have got somebody better than Jessica Parker Kennedy to play Noor? Because I honestly think that Jessica played Noor perfectly.
Yes, you are correct. Jessica Parker Kennedy did do perfect as Nora, but like I said, they could as the Nora character they could have did better. Jessica, she was fine. She was great as Nora. They couldn't have went any better. Same with Candace. Like cannot see anybody else playing as Nora.
So near the end, well, not near the end, but in season five we had Joe West and Cecile have a baby, Jenna. Um, what do you think about that? Because I've seen people dislike the way that they did it, but I don't know your opinion.
So I it surprised me like everybody else. I'm pretty sure when they said when Cecile said she was having a baby. But it surprised me. It took me by surprise, and I actually liked the way like they did with Baby Jenna because it brings it makes me feel like Joe and Cecile with Jenna as officially as one, not like they did like how they split up for a little bit because of Barry being the Flash and Wally being Kid Flash. But I feel like with Baby Jenna, it officially brought them two together. So
So you just reminded me of a question I wanted to ask you. Wally West, he originated in the Flash, but then he moved over to the Legends. Do you think he should stay with the Flash, or do you think he made a good team with the Legends?
so this is how I feel about that. So he went off to the Legends. And when I watched that, I thought it was pretty cool, but I feel like they should have did more before they sent him off with the Legends. They could have did more with him, but with that time being in the Legends, because I know how it is to deal with multiple speedsters. Um, but like I feel like they could have did it just a little bit better in between that time. But other than that, no. Wally West is perfect in the DC Legends of Tomorrow and the Flash. So
Yeah, I kind of like how they did it. Just like you said, I didn't like how they put him, like, sent him off to Legends like that early. But I like that they did that because, like he said before he went off to the Legends, if he stayed with Team Flash, he would have just been in Fury's shadow. But with the Legends, he was able to be his own. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Okay, next topic is Cicada. I've seen people say that Cicada is one of the worst villains that they've had.
Nah. One of my most disliked villains, I feel like, was DeVoe. I did not like how they did with DeVoe, if I'm being honest. But Cicada, no, they did actually pretty well with him. And the battles between him and Killer Frost was awesome. I loved it how they had that, how they figured out one of his weaknesses, um, with as it being cold and Killer Frost. But no, he's pretty good villain, and just pretty good non-speedster villain. Yeah, but like I said, my most disliked had to be DeVoe, so he's not he's not bad at all.
Um, so season 5 is also when we found out that Killer Frost has been a part of Caitlyn ever since she was a kid, and it actually wasn't dark matter that turned Caitlyn into Killer Frost. It was actually a cure for ALS by her dad.
So that's pretty awesome when they showed us that. Um, if I'm being honest, then when they showed her as a kid and they she looked in herself in the mirror as a child and she seen herself like that, it kind of scared me. I was like it scared me to death. But other than that, like that's awesome. Her story, how they did it like that, and I haven't really read it in the comics, the Killer Frost story, but the TV show, I feel like I can go off of that. But they did pretty well with Killer Frost, showing her origins, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah, so season 1 is when it all kicked off. Did you like how they started off in season 1? Like how I think they did it perfectly. Like with Billy going into coma and him staying in the coma for a long time and waking up and being able to run faster than the speed of sound.
Yes, that was um, like I said, like season 1 is awesome. And when I first saw The Flash, I watched. It was just the first 3 seasons. Season 1 out of the all three was my top favorite at that time because I saw Savitar as a character grow and stuff. But season 1 is perfect, very perfect, beyond perfect. Um, as they showed everybody likes origin story and the Reverse Flash, or not Harrison Wells, Il Barthon, hard to explain, but yes, season 1 was awesome.
So, like I said, from the beginning, did you think that Harrison Wells or Eobard Thawne was going to be the Reverse Flash, the man who killed Billy's mom? Because I honestly didn't think so. I had a suspicion that he wasn't who he said he was, but I didn't think at that beginning that he was a whole different person and the man who killed Billy's mom.
So, I honestly like for real thought that he was a good guy. Now, the wheelchair thing had me a little off balance as him with the character because some in my brain told me that he's not paralyzed, but no, until they showed him with a costume, I was not suspecting him to be the Reverse Flash.
So we had a lot of different wells from other Earths in the multiverse. Harry Wells. What did you think about Harry Wells?
Oh my gosh! Now Harry Wells is my second favorite because the way his attitude is with Cisco, with them two being like best friends, and the way they act towards each other sometimes when they're angry at each other, brought season two, like when season two, joyful. Like it was hilarious. It was one of those seasons that I laughed the most on because of his attitude and the way he spiced up conversations and he threw stuff across the room angrily. Tom Cavanaugh played Harry Wells perfect.
um, I also love season two because of the fact that we got the multiverse and they were able to travel like to two, and I love those two episodes in that season.
Yes, like I said, when they showed Harry Wells teaming up, like not sort of teaming up, but trying to get his daughter back with Zoom, um, now that is what brought complication to the story. When I first watched it, I was so confused at that point because I was like, wait, so is he gonna end up stealing the speed from the Flash? What's gonna happen? And that's how it should be. My brain cannot go past that point because normally I try to plan the TV show ahead of time as I'm watching it, planning ahead, see if my opinions are going to be right or wrong. But season two is one of the hardest ways to do that because of the character Harry Wells. So
Okay,
it made it.
yeah. So we also got the first look at the Speed Force in season two. After Zoom stole Barry's speed, we got the first look into the Speed Force after they try to get him his speed back.
So and when we got the first look to the Speed Force, now I honestly thought when they stole Barry's, when they like did the particle accelerator again, I thought he was back in a coma and he woke back up at first until they said about him being a like him being in the Speed Force. Now that was like an awesome mystery, that like a smaller mystery that that uncovered itself. Now, like I said, I thought he was in a coma again, so like it had restart, but no, it was the Speed Force, and they did that perfect, especially with Cisco trying to get him out as he is trying to get his speed back and trying to be the Flash again. Also comprehending that his mother's dead, all in one thing. They did it perfect. Like that was they portrayed the Speed Force perfect.
That's also the season where Billy and Iris started to try with them, like them being together. Um, so I wanted to ask you, who, like, what did you think of Eddie Thawne?
So Eddie, now as Iris and Eddie as a couple, that was I thought that's how it was gonna be for just a little bit longer than it actually was. But when they showed him at the end of season one shooting himself in the chest, that took me by surprise. I was not suspecting that at all. I was expecting him once he saw his future, he was going to, get changed, like the precinct, go off somewhere else. But no, when he committed suicide to save everybody, that's what really turned Eddie into a hero to me. So
So, what was it? Season 5 with Nua, how Cicada's dagger, that, like, it was so complicated because Cicada's dagger was what was holding Eobard back in prison, and that was his whole plan all along, was to get Nua to trust him because she wanted to go back in time and help Barry defeat Cicada and keep him from going to crisis and disappearing and dying. And that's when Eobard saw the opportunity to get Nora to trust him and then end up destroying the dagger, which they did. What do you think about that? With like her, with elongated man Ralph Dimney jumping in front of the mirror gun to destroy the blast, and they like try to figure out like why.
See, this is where I feel like it splits opinions on what and how it should have happened. So, on my opinion, I'm with Elongated Man, and him jumping into it was um like awesome, awesome, like very awesome, and how like he turned into a blobbled like mess. Um, but like I feel like I was with him, and they shouldn't have destroyed the dagger because Eulard is a strong character, and that dagger is pretty strong, and I feel like they could have at least stopped Cicada too. Um, but I kind of like also kind of like the way how it went out as Eobard getting out of jail. But yes, elongated man jumping in front of it, totally, like that's what I feel like jump started one some of my feelings towards elongated man as a hero.
So we're going back to the multiverse and Wells. Who is your favorite Wells?
H.R.
Yeah.
Wells. I feel like they changed him up a little bit because they as more towards the team depended on Wells. Wells depended on his team, and that with along his storyline, they brought in Gypsy, and Gypsy is another important character that they did away with, which is not like in. I feel like they writ her off because she's like dead, but like her as a character was pretty awesome, and Harry Wells is my most favorite because of his comedic and I wouldn't say dumbness, but like him not knowing what's going on half the time, even though he does make a lot of ideas come to people's mind. But yes, he's pretty hilarious and respects to him.
So when we first met HR, did you think he was an actual scientist, or did you suspect that he was not the scientist and was just the face of Star Labs at Earth 19?
So no, I thought he was a legitimate scientist. I did. I really did. I thought he was going to come there and be like, I wouldn't say another one of Harry, but in a smart way, another one of Harry, and as if, um, you know, like how he came in saying Earth, like he made a joke about him always wanting to say hello,
Earthlings.
Earthlings. Yeah,
Yeah.
like they combined Harry and comedian. That's how I thought it was going to be, but nope, they completely changed my mind, and it was awesome how they did with Harry. I mean HR, not Harry.
So when Jesse Quick became a speedster, when you first saw Jesse when with Harry was, did you think that she was gonna speedster because of a name she's in the comics and she becomes a speedster? Did you think she was gonna become a speedster? Or did you think that she was just gonna be like a regular character?
So yes, that kind of like since like you said in the comics, Jesse Click and Jesse from Earth Two, also Harry gave her the nickname Jesse Click. I kind of knew where it was going as a character, but like speed ways, but not emotional ways. Because she's a very emotional character and an important one. She's a very good like in like the TV show. She's a very good like I should say placeholder. You know how they have to make those episodes to do more like to do a longer episode, a better episode, so they put like one in between that's one on the rogues or on another one. I feel like she's a very good character for that reason. And yeah, Jesse Quick is I kind of figured out that she was going to be a speedster almost right off the bat, but um emotional ways, no. No, not really.
So then we got Wally West. When he first got introduced, when Iris and Barry told Joe that Francine had a son, Wally West, or Wallace West, did you think at that point, just like with Jesse, did you think at that point that he was gonna become a speedster?
So so no, not really. Because you know how in the comics, Wally like there's two of them, but the Wally West that doesn't get his powers till later. I thought that since they changed it up a little bit, he was not going to be a speedster at all. And then once season 3 came around, they showed it. I thought that was tremendously awesome. because they changed my mind on him as a character because like I said, I thought he was just going to be another family of Joe West non-speedster superhero, but no, they made him a speedster, and that's what I feel like is awesome about that character.
So the way Wally found out that Barry was the Flash, um, after Barry gave up his speed to save him, after Zoom took him, the way that he found out was the night that Barry's dad got killed by Zoom. I don't think that's the best way they could have had Wally figure out, but I think it was pretty good.
Yes, I feel like if they could have showed him either being beat up, like they showed him in the Flashpoint storyline, being beat up by another speedster, and him uncovering him like that. But if that wasn't the way they would have went, I feel like the way they did it was perfect, just like it is. But they could have did it the same way as they did Barry uncovering Wally in the Flashpoint storyline in this TV show.
So Wally, when they used him as lure to alchemy, um, when he got in that big cocoon, did you think he was gonna be in a coma for over 9 months like Billy was, or did you think that he was never gonna come out, or he's gonna come out in a day, or?
So I feel like I don't think he was didn't think he was gonna be in there for 9 months, but I thought he was going to be in a coma like Barry is, like, and he kind of was, but I didn't think it was gonna be for 9 months because it's a speedster and the CW is needs like they try to go as fast as possible, but I'm also making it one of the best TV shows in the CW verse or Arrowverse, whatever you want to call it. But no, I didn't think he was going to stay in there for 9 months, but I did think he was going to be in there for a lot longer than he actually was.
Okay, so Wally West and Jesse, um, when they got together, what did you think? Like, did you think they were gonna stay together? Did you think they were a good couple? Or?
Yes, I did think they were great. I thought they were going to stay together and be a great couple. And when they kind of closed that relationship, that was kind of sad to me. I feel like they could have put a lot more like episodes on them two being speedsters, showing them on Earth 3 saving Earth 3 Flash speedsters, like Flash speedster villains, or just rogues from Earth 3. They could have put episodes on that, but when they canceled it, I was kind of sad, but not much disappointing because there was so much going on at that time. So
Okay, so we're going back to Wells. So the first Wells was not actually Eobard Thawne. It was not actually Hosting Wells. It was Eobard Thawne. He got erased from existence, but came back, and then got taken back to his time. And then Harry Wells and Jesse sadly died when, after Crisis, which, every other Flash 2 died, including Jacob. Um, but what, and then we had HR die before Harry and Jesse died. And then Sherlock, we lost Sherlock, but he didn't die, but he went back. And then in this upcoming season, Nash Wells is supposed to sacrifice his life, and that would be the end of Tom Cavanaugh for the show.
so now when they erased every like how they did it in there, like they pretty much brought all the wells into one body, which I feel like was a
Mm.
very bad move. Um, and what's going on, I feel like they could have at least made Sherlock and well, not Sherlock, but this Nash Wells, um, with also Eobard Thawne that has the mask of Harrison Wells. They could have I feel like they could have done something with both of those as two separate entities instead of him Nash Wells turning into Eobard. And that also brings me to the point when they first showed him back on Earth Prime, the Reverse Flash, when he turned Nash turned into the Reverse, because they're all in one. Um, when they showed him and as not a speedster, but he was still fighting Cisco. even when he doesn't have his powers, he's still a good fighter. But like some gave me that vibe that that was not Nash Wells, but somebody else in his body. So I kind of knew what they was going with that.
Yeah, so what do you think about Nash sacrificing his life and that being the end of Tom Cavanaugh?
So I think it's pretty sad, and they I feel like Tom Cavanaugh was such a great character. They need to do more. They should have did more with him, or at least kept him in because Harrison Wells and Harry and all the other Wells out there that had ever been on the TV show was awesome, and he's a key pillar of the Team Flash. So now I feel like they have to replace that pillar with something else. And I hope they do, and I hope it's something good.
Okay, so we're going back to Zoom season, which was season 2. After Barry's dad got killed, after they defeated Zoom, Jay Garrick, the real Jay Garrick, was the doppelganger of Barry's dad. And when they revealed that, what did you think?
So it um it kind of took me off guard too, but not as much as every other thing going on. Like after everything being done and over with. But it took me by surprise too. Um, Now, Jay Garrick, it took me a while to figure out what they meant by Jay Garrick, and also Barry's dad saying that his last name is
Mom's
like
maiden.
his name was, yeah, mom's maiden name, couldn't think of it, being Garrick. Um, I feel like that's when I finally started piecing things together because sometimes I can be a little slow. But yes, they that took me by surprise.
Alright, so Cisco, Carlos Valdez, what do you think about Carlos Valdez playing Cisco?
Um, Now he is a perfect Cisco, in my opinion. Now, let's say something does end up happening to that character or Carlos, something happening to him. I I don't know anybody else being Vibe, and I feel like if something does happen to him, they're either gonna have to write him off or do something with like put his character on a temporarily pause because Carlos plays Vibe or Cisco perfect. Like I feel like I cannot see him with as being any other celebrity being Vibe or Cisco. Like he plays it perfect.
That was gonna be my next question. What did what did you personally think when we found out that Carlos was turning into Vibe?
Well, see, back when in the comics, Vibe I didn't know much about the character, so I like I said, like most characters on there, I kind of went by the TV show. Vibe is awesome. Now I was with him taking his powers away, and him wanting a normal life. I could see why. Life changed, like his life changed in the snap, and with Ilbarthon telling him in season 1 that he got his powers from him, I kind of knew what was going to happen. Not at that time, but as it got on, as more of his character progressed, I kind of knew what was going to happen, and his powers would eventually go away. Now I was kind of with him on that. But Cisco as a character is awesome. Vibe as a superhero, helping Barry. I feel like I'm kind of in a medium with him. I do not hate him as a character, but I also do not like him as a character. Vibe.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about Flashpoint. So when Barry went into Flashpoint or made Flashpoint, he saved his mom from being murdered, and he got to live a life. But then he decided to change the timeline. But when he went back, a lot of things had changed. Like Cisco's brother is Dante. Cisco's brother Dante was dead, and that's when Kate then started to develop her Killer Frost powers.
Um, so afterwards, that Flashpoint, that was how it was so much different from the comics. It's kind of hard. It's even to this day, it's kind of hard for me to kind of sit down and watch those episodes. I still watch them anyways because I rewatched the TV show over and over and over again. But it's kind of hard for me to like those episodes because I feel like it's just Barry changing the timeline again. You know, it's just like that. They didn't do too well with the Flashpoint, but it's what comes after is what makes Flashpoint so great in the TV show. It's because of what happened after now. Flashpoint itself in the TV show, the two episodes, I didn't really like. I'm sorry, but it's just not good.
So, when after Flashpoint, Iris and Joe were not talking. Do you remember why?
Yes, because it's because Barry's mother, not no, it's because her mother was still alive, and her not telling like Barry was the like them not telling Barry was the Flash. Now that them being split apart, I feel like since Barry went back in time and changed stuff, I thought it was only going to be minor changes because of that right there. But as the that episode progressed on and him going to see Felicity Smoke and like pretty much saying everything really fast to her, that's when I started thinking, wow, there's going to be some major changes from now on. And yeah, so that's what I thought about that in that area, the episode.
So we've had a couple crossovers. We've had Elseworlds, Crisis on Infinite Earths, Crisis on Earth X. Which one is your favorite?
Um, it's Earth X, Earth X. Ray, and Leonard Snart, them two relationship and them adding comedic to the whole situation going on. That's why I like it so much. As everything is going on, them seeing themselves, but in an alternate world that's filled with Nazis. It's kind of dark, so them taking Ray and Snart, um, even though Ray is from Earth One, and Snart's from that Earth, them adding, making a relationship, I feel like that's what makes that one my favorite, in my opinion.
So when we first saw Flash team up with not really team up, but the first time they got in contact with each other was when Barry was wearing his tachyon enhancer like machine, and Supergirl was able to keep up with him even when he had that on, and that made him 4 times faster. So at this point in speed, like when we ended the show, do you think that Barry would beat Kara now, or do you think that Kara would still beat him?
So, um, I feel like that crossover right there, they did that pretty well, and they should totally do more with Kari now that Earth Prime is a thing. And Barry, Barry in the comics can be Superman, and they portray that Superman is like in the TV show, they're almost equally as powerful. So Barry, yes, Barry could still be Supergirl.
So, on Crisis on Infinite Earths, we had the appearance of the Flash from the 1990 show appear. And that's also weird because that was played by John Wesley Shipp, who in the show back then also played the Flash. So let's get this straight. So John Wesley Shipp played the Flash back in the 1990 show. He played Jay Garrick Flash, and now he played the 1990 Flash in the new show.
So as Golden Age Flash, both in the comics and in the TV show, um, they're both portrayed as pretty much like I wouldn't after their prime. So, both in the like Jay Garrick with the metal helmet, not Zoom Jay Garrick or um Hunter Zolomon because I still call him Jay Garrick, but the the old show, as I should say, John Wesley Shipp plays Golden Age awesome, awesome. Like he both in the old TV show and now he still plays it awesomely. John Wesley Shipp is a very important character to the Arrowverse period. Like he could, I feel like they should do more with his character in other TV shows, not as the Flash, but just as a CW, like as a an actor for the CW. Like he could do great. He's such a good actor. I feel like he could do good. And since Supergirl's coming to an end, that's pretty sad. They can use him in DC Legends of Tomorrow and still in the Flash, and he'd still be a good character.
So on that Crisis on Infinite Earth episode, when he was on the cosmic treadmill, when he got off, he temporarily stole the Flash's speed. Do you think in the future that the Flash could do that? If we get a new speedster, do you think that the Flash could be able to do that if he really had to?
So like Barry, like the Flash in the comics, he does end up getting very powerful. But even Barry in the Flash needs his limits, and if they do add that, I feel like that would be a negative because Barry is already so overpowered as it is right now. If they add that and the Flash time thing, him can bring other people in Flash time. I feel like that would just make his character too OP. So I don't think I would like if some tells me it's going to happen, but it's not going to be a good idea if it does.
And then, okay, so on that same episode, the Flash from Earth 90 also mentioned somebody named Tina. And back in the 1990 show, the Flash Barry Allen's wife or girlfriend or whatever was Tina. So I think it was really cool that they mentioned that, like, as like a reference to the Flash show from 1990. I thought that was pretty cool.
So doesn't that mean by Tina like Christina McGee?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when he first said that, but I think it still might like have a reference to that. Like maybe Latina from back then is like a doppelganger of Christina McGee, but
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Like so, they use that reference. I think it's awesome, and like you said, the doppelganger theory. Um. It's totally they're making that like a I should say a hole that they're probably not gonna fill this anytime soon because I feel like since since the character died, I feel like Barry should in the future, not in the near future, don't have to be, but should accidentally travel to wherever the old wherever like he was from that like the old TV show. I feel like he should travel then to there and still see him and still they can still use that character since he died on with the Crisis on Infinite Earth. So like I feel like they could still use that character as more towards a time travel accident than a actual superhero speedster Flash.
so I'm currently editing the video right now, and the second part, because those two parts here, because I accidentally ended the video, but then I started back up, and the second part sadly got corrupted, and I was not able to use it for this video. So, I'm sorry about that, but so I'll take with what we got. It's our first episode. The next episode will definitely be out today. I've got some people to do today. And I'll actually be able to get more than one person done because now I have more time because I just thought of this idea last night. I was able to get one person done, but yeah. Sorry about that, and I guess enjoy your day. Peace out.
Calling my bitch, tell her bring me that knock.